Let's count some suitcases. Чемодан, 2 чемодана, 3 чемодана, 4 чемодана. If you look carefully at these forms, you see something odd going on. Toward the top, we see the nominative singular, then the plural, but then we're using different forms for the noun after the numbers два, три, and четыре. Looking at another example. Одна сестра, сестры, две сестры, три сестры, четыре сестры. We see that we use a slightly different form, две, for two before feminine nouns, and again the noun endings after две, три, and четыре are a little different from the nominative plural. They look just like the genitive singular, in fact, and those are the forms that we'll use for a noun after any number that ends in the forms два or две, три, or четыре, including compound numbers. For example, два чемодана, 22 чемодана, 132 чемодана. And even though we're dealing with 132 suitcases here, the noun still needs to be in the genitive singular because the number ends in dva. So this pattern holds for any numbers that end in the forms dva or две, три, or четыре. But what then about, say, numbers 5 through 20, or 25 through 30, 35 through 40, and so on? Well, those take different types of endings, so we'll leave those for another time. Until you've covered the genitive plural, then you should avoid using numbers that end in 5 through 9 or 0. Adjectives can also take special endings after numbers, I'm afraid, so for now you want to avoid using adjectives after numbers other than 1. Now, one tricky point to keep in mind here is that our rule applies to numbers ending in the words or the forms два, две, три, or четыре. So what about these numbers? 12, 13, 14. Well, these words don't end in dva or три or четыре, they all end in ц. So they will not take genitive singular type endings. Avoid the temptation to think to yourself in English, let's see, numbers ending in 2 or 3 or 4, because then you might want to apply this rule to numbers like 12, 13, and 14, which won't work. Again, we'll cover noun endings after higher numbers, including all the teens, in another video. Let's do some practice. See if you can get the right form of the noun before it appears. Две книги. 3 города. 4 студентки. 3 окна. 2 брата. 44 паспорта, 103 карандаша, 2 сестры. Summing up, be sure to use the genitive singular noun endings after numbers that end in the forms два or две, три, or четыре. Numbers that end in 5 through 20, 25 through 30, etc. take other types of endings, and we'll cover those another time. And one last note, adjectives can have special endings after numbers too. We'll cover those in another video as well, so you might want to avoid using adjectives after numbers for now.